All right. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Bal Mukund. And let me share my screen and start the presentation for today. And every day we have one or two or few new attendees. All right. So good evening. Let's talk a little bit about yoga. So yoga is different from Western medicine, and is different in the sense that Western medicine treats the symptoms of your disease or manages the symptoms, so to speak. Whereas yoga, while it is reducing the symptoms, is actually working towards alleviating the root causes of illnesses in your body. And yoga primarily works by stress reduction in the body. It can be done with physical exercises, mental exercises, mantras, and other meditative practices. One very important thing to note about yoga is that the mind does not wander. So keep the awareness within your body, focus your mind on your breath, and visualize the part of the body that's being exercised. That will bring the maximum benefit to you through yoga. We all have a monkey mind and our mind wanders. If that happens, and you become aware that your mind has wandered, bring it back, and that's fine. And over time your focus and the mind wandering ability will improve. uh, Yoga is designed to increase the energy of communication in body systems. It stimulates better immune system and body's repair mechanism. It makes you feel better and minor issues get resolved. And the same set of yoga, palliative yoga exercises can also have therapeutic effect. In fact, Dr. Rajan has innovated on this very unique yoga therapy, which is called measured yoga therapy, where we measure how the nadis on your fingertips are performing or firing, and on the base using an electrophotonic device that's called BioWell. And as a result, we know what is the energy distribution of different organs within your body. And by knowing that, we know where the root cause of your illnesses lie in your body. And then Dr. Rajan can recommend some very highly targeted exercises that will benefit you the most. In fact, I'm a beneficiary of such an exercise regimen, a yoga therapy, and I was down with a very an incurable condition called chronic fatigue syndrome, and people have been sick with it for decades, and there's no characterization on forget about cure in Western medicine. And in 4 months, I recovered fully. So that's remarkable. So any of you who have any illnesses that you want to talk about, personal conditions, this is a public forum. So save those questions for a personal consultation with Dr. Rajan. I'll put my email in the chat box and you can always email me and I can schedule a consultation. So regarding today's yoga practice, a few things. Please follow instructions to avoid any adverse reactions. One very important feature of that instruction is to keep your spine straight. So if you don't have the upper body strength, or if you're a little tired, take support from the back of the chair or the back of the wall behind you, but keep your spine straight. And do your practices gently without strain. If it's too much strain on the body, then it's not yoga by definition. So do it within your individual capacity. It's not a competition, and there is a limit to duration or count of specific exercises. Dr. Rajan would say that. When you have doubt, avoid the practice or seek clarification. But remember that the liability of all this is entirely yours. Do not multitask or merge two exercises. The slower you do the exercises, the better it is for you. And visualization is something I already talked about. The other thing is regular discipline practice. That's the key to improving your health through yoga. If you miss a day, use the video recording. Every day we broadcast it live on YouTube, and that recording is automatically saved there on our YouTube channel. The name of the channel is Life in Yoga Rajan. Remember that yoga is not just a physical exercise. It's a lot more than that. But it's not a religious practice either. So people from all religions are welcome, and it does not interfere with your religious practices. Yoga brings good health of the mind and body. It brings inner awareness, and it also brings a sense of cosmic connection. So welcome to our yoga family, and I'll leave it to Dr. Rajan to start today's session.
Dr. Rajan, you need to unmute. Thank you. So, namaste, everyone. Just to point out to the importance of regularity, there were 3 people who spoke up a few days back who, because they are daily participants and they are regular, they observed over a period of 3 weeks, their blood pressure had become normal. And I guess all of them are over here because of this. Kamlesh Chawla is one of them. And then you had Anjana Parekh and Ashok Batra who spoke about this. So any case, I encourage you to stay regular every day and not just showing up once in a while. And of course, we understand that once in a while, there may be other preoccupations, which is okay, but try to be regular. So with that as the thought, let's begin with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in. As usual, we will begin with the chakra vibrations. Keep your awareness at the perineum. And there we are going to do the sound lam. And when you do that, we keep the mudra, the little finger pressed against the thumb. For those of you who are new and don't know where the perineum is in between the anus and the genitals. And we focus there and squeeze, so like squeezing the butt. So let's begin. We'll repeat it many times till I ask you to move to the next. Lam. 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 Now let's focus 1 inch above the perineum. And this is the place behind where we urinate. And here we do the sound VUM. And when we do VUM, press the ring finger against the thumb. Take a deep breath in. VUM. 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 Now let's go on behind the navel, and here we do the sound rum. So pull in your navel and bring your middle finger to the thumb as you do the sound rum. Take a deep breath in. Rum. 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 Now let's go to right in between the breasts in the middle of the body. And here we do the sound yum. Then we hold the index finger against the thumb. Here we cannot compress, but do a mental compression. Take a deep breath in. Yum. Yeah. Continue. Now let's cover the throat. And here we do the sound hum. Please continue with hum. My speaker is indicating a problem, so I'll reset it while you continue with hum.
Hum. Since Dr. Arjun is not here, I'll continue with the next one, next chakra, Sham. We focus here in the middle, in between the two ears, and we'll say Sham. Sham.
Chum.
Sham.
Chum. Chum. Top of the head, we go and do Om. Now we'll go on to the happy face breathing, the Ujjayi Pranayama. So those of you who know, please proceed. And those of you who are new, close your eyes and focus on your throat. Feel the throat, what it looks like. It feels normal. Now make a big smile with your eyes closed and observe the slight stretch you feel in the throat. Focus on the stretch and inhale and exhale slowly and feel as if the air is rubbing in the throat, like a little bit like restricted breathing. So how slow it should be done, I will lift up my hand as I inhale, and as I exhale, I bring it down so you can watch how I'm doing it.
Very sweet baby. High five. You can blow. You can blow.
Continue. I apologize for the speaker problem. I have taken care of it. It was related to a Bluetooth being active. So I can hear. young man in Anila Vishwaman's room, can you just pull back your shoulders a little bit? The ujjayi will come better. Yes, the blue t-shirt you're wearing. Just pull back your shoulders. Yes. And focus on the shoulders. If you pull back, your hand and knees will come even further back. Yes. Maybe you should use all, maybe you can use a lumbar support.
Naranji, you are breaking.
I'm breaking again for everyone. Raise your hand.
Now it's okay.
Now it's okay. Okay.
It just improved.
Mansukh Kotadia, you're unable to get the feeling. So maybe, ma'am, you may want to make a bigger smile and see if you can feel it. Yeah, make a bigger smile. You were lifting up your hand up and down. Do it again. I want to see it. Yes, now it is working. Can you feel the air there? Good. Continue. Okay. Now let's go on to the mantra Haim Im going through the top of the head. It begins from the chest. Haim Im lifts up and goes to the top of the head. And this is to be done without saying it verbally, just mentally visualizing with no sound coming outside. So please try. Now let's go on to the neck exercises. Exhale, bring one ear towards the shoulder. Inhale, come up, and exhale towards the other shoulder. Do it as slow as you can, slower the better, along with the slow exhalation. And only to your zone of comfort. Just you get a minor stretch, that is good enough. Don't push yourself to the point of pain. Try to keep the eyes closed so that you can focus better. Okay. Now we can rotate the head as if you're looking over one shoulder as you exhale. Inhale, come back. Exhale, go the other way. Okay, now inhale, take the head back. And exhale, chin towards the chest. Now, as you inhale, do half a circle and exhale, complete the circle. We do full rotation. Let's go in the opposite direction. Okay, now we go on to our shoulder exercises, alternative shoulders. So as you inhale, lift up one shoulder and exhale, rotate it down. Inhale the other shoulder, take it back as you exhale and bring it down. Okay, this is good. Now let's go on to the hand exercises. Lift up your, keep the hand straight Inhale, lift up and extend out the fingers. Exhale, take the thumb in and make a downward facing fist. Inhale and exhale. Now let's make the fist and rotate around. Keep the elbow stretched out. Go the opposite direction. Now let's bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. We inhale and exhale and go around. Lina Kothari, do it slower. Inhale slowly, gracefully, exhale slowly. If you have difficulty keeping your hand up, just let it relax a little and do it a little lower, but do it slowly. Inhale and exhale. No need to lift up the hand very high. Now let's do backward motion. Now let's interlock the hands and bring it behind the head. And as you exhale, twist to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, go the other way. Inhale, come back. Okay. Now we do both shoulders together. We lift it as we inhale, rotate it back and bring it down as we exhale. Okay. Now we will cross over the opposite knee and take the hand behind and turn. Inhale, come back. Exhale, go the other way. Okay, this is good. Now let's cross one leg over the other. And you hold the knee. And as you exhale, pull the knee in and in the opposite direction. And as you turn your head in the same side as the knee you're holding. Inhale, release, and exhale, pull and turn the head. Let's cross the leg the other way. Exhale, pull and turn. Okay, now we can stand up. And those of you who need to hold the chair for balance, hold the chair and then take the leg as far back as possible. Keep the chin up as you lean forward and feel the stretch from the bottom of the feet to the hip. You're only bending at the hip. Those of you who don't need the chair, bring the elbows behind the back and then get hold of your elbows behind. And then as you take a deep breath in, lift up the head and keep it lifted up, shoulder pulled back. And as you exhale, come down. Inhale and slowly come up and sit down.
Sir, in between we are not breathing at all, or only one breathing?
No. In between, you're breathing normally.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank
You
sir.
don't hold the breath at all.
No.
Okay. So now we will do this last spinal exercise, which we haven't done for a few days. Those of you who are seated on the chair, hold the sides of the chair. And those of you who are seated on the floor, keep the palms slightly behind you, the fingers pointing forward on the floor. Now, before we go back, anybody who has lower back, that is the lumbar area, spinal stenosis or something, please make sure that you don't do too much. If you do that, you may get a pain there. So avoid pain, but holding there, what you do is inhale and gently lengthen the spine up and take the chin back, take the shoulder back, and make a backward arch as much as you can comfortably. Inhale and exhale normally. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly come forward. And as you come forward, bring your hands, raise your hands up, and bring it forward and interlock the palms. And as you exhale, turn to the left as far to the left as you can. Inhale and exhale normally. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, go all the way to the other side. And again, inhale and exhale normally. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, come to the middle. Inhale, palm into the chest. Exhale, take it the other way. Inhale and exhale normally. Alina Kothari, you are like this. Instead, you want to be like this. Okay. Now inhale, and as you exhale, turn to one side. Inhale and exhale normally. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, go all the way to the other side. Inhale and exhale normally. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, come into the middle. Inhale into the chest, and exhale, lift up high above the head. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lean to one side as far as you can. Inhale and exhale normally. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, go to the other side and inhale and exhale normally. Take a deep breath in, come up, and inhale, lift up both the shoulders up, extend out the elbows, and push on your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Just rotate around the wrist, loosen it up, bend at the elbows, push the elbows behind you, and slowly lower the elbows. And slowly bring it down, come down. Okay. Now we are ready for our deep breathing, Bhastrika Pranayama. So those of you who are new, I want to make sure you're comfortable. Bring the palm to the abdominal area. As you inhale, bring the abdominal area out, the chest expands and the shoulder pulls back. And exhale, this goes in and the chest empties, shoulder relaxes. This is the basic motion. You can just do it with your hands on your abdominal area. Those of you who feel very comfortable, you can use the hand positions. And as you inhale, let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. And 20. Exhale. Close your eyes, relax, and observe the sensations within you. When the sensations subside, we will go on to meditation. And as previously suggested, today will be the first day where we will discuss for a few minutes each day the Yoga Sutras. So the first part, I will discuss the Yoga Sutras. If you have any questions or comments, please put those questions in the chat box so that we will deal with it after we spend a few minutes on the Yoga Sutras. Some of the people may be in a hurry to leave for other things, but may be interested in the Yoga Sutras. So I will spend about 10 minutes every day on the Yoga Sutras. Now mentally let go of all ideas and concepts. With your eyes closed, feel like the eye is looking upward towards the top of the head. And if you have your personal mantra, you can use it. If you don't, just watch your breath. And we will play the Om in the background for a few minutes. Keep your eyes closed. Become aware of your breath and gently lift up your hands and bring the palm 6 inches in front of your face and look straight into the palm of your hands when you open your eyes. Bal Mukund, can you give me screen share? So please remember to post your questions, thoughts, and if any of you would like to introduce yourself, please put that in. And what I will do is I'm going to go first to the Yoga Sutras. So if you go into our website, lifeinyoga.org, and if you put in there, the link is app_downloads and then yogasutras.pdf, you get this document right over there. So just as a beginning for you, the Yoga Sutras is a total of 196 sutras in 4 chapters. So I will just scroll down so you can see how small it is, just a matter of a few pages. And so in the first 20 pages or so, including the translation and all of that, or in 22, 23, yes, in 23 pages it is done. After that, you can see there are terms used in the Yoga Sutras that are explained. The concept of Ishvara, Chitta, all of this explained, and how the karma flows. So here you can go ahead and read up for yourself anytime you feel like. Bal Mukund, can you put the link? Actually, I will put the link for you in the chat box right here.
I already put, Narayanji.
You already put, excellent. Okay. So those of you who want to read there, you can always go over there. Today is the first day where we are going to discuss about this for about no more than 10 minutes. We will talk about the origins of the Yoga Sutra and the place of the Yoga Sutras in the Indian literature and its relevance for all our practices and the spiritual elements that go beyond all religions. So the origins of it goes back at, if you look at YouTube, if you look at Wikipedia, or if you go into academic literature, they will say Yoga Sutras is less than 2,000 years old. They will say it is around 1,000 years old, is what they will say. But this is not validated from the Indian standpoint of the timing. According to the Indian standards, Indian view of timing, the Yoga Sutras predates the Mahabharata. Okay? So it is around the time of the Mahabharata, maybe slightly before that. And we say it is probably around 5,100 or 5,200 years back. Of course, from the academic literature, Mahabharata is not that old, Whereas the research that has been done in the last few years has been quite convincing that Mahabharata is at least that long. And how do we know that? The reason we know that in a scientific way is because the earlier research that was done by Oxford scholars they were essentially historians and with limited view of archaeology. Whereas what happened is, in the last several decades, the advancement in technology has permitted dating like that it was not possible before. Today, based upon ice core cap drilling and looking at the deposits of ice from each cycle of the year, you can actually tell what the temperature of the world was going back into many, many millions of years. Similarly, when they chop old trees, by looking at the circles in there, they can tell not only the age of the tree, but they can also tell how the weather was in previous years. Similarly, with respect to a deposit of planktons in the base of the ocean. Similarly, what has happened is, in geological cases where there have been earthquakes, where fault lines have happened, they can even measure over there at what period of time the faults broke. So with the amount of dating that is possible, one more thing that got added on that gave evidence of this was in Mahabharata, there are some 150 astral observations provided. And how many days in between that? Like some of you already know, Satish Amin, are you trying to share a screen? Bal Mukund, you may want to disable that.
I did that.
Okay. So now going back in Mahabharata, many of you will probably remember that Balram went on a Tirth Yatra or a pilgrimage at the time of the war, the 18 days war. And then he came back after so many days. So the day when he stepped out, this was the astral position of the various stars and all of that. And when he came back, it was like this. And of course, you know, the day Bhishma Pitama left his body, what the position was. So like this, there are 150 positions with gaps of the number of days in between that are kind of recorded. So two people made extensive review of this. One was a person from Memphis, astrophysicist over there. His name is Narahari Achar. And another person is from the Boston area. I'm trying to think of his name, who actually refined it and updated it. He is an IT professional who also went on to look at the astronomical charts and came up with it.
Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao, who wrote the...
No. He's Maharashtrian. I think he has an interesting name, some Oakley or Oak, something like that. Anyway, so these people did extensive research, and they have been able to show the astral combinations that will fit the gaps that you can observe. Actually, the earliest date going back in time you can have will be about 5,200 years back. Okay. And now there is some more things that are very, very interesting that came along. And the interesting thing that came along was, we all know about the Saraswati River, which we have all heard about. And of course, people who have gone to the Prayag, they tell you that the Saraswati River is coming from underneath and things like that, the Triveni Sangam, as they call it, right? But the reality of it is, the Saraswati River was a river that was parallel to the Indus River and the Sindhu River. And this used to go right through Rajasthan, and it used to enter the Arabian Sea at this place called Somnath. where the Somnath temple is. And it used to flow through the city of where Ahmedabad is, that through that place it used to flow. Now, what happened was, within there is one segment called the Shataka, Shatapatha, Purana or something, where it is said that the Saraswati river is receding. And this was written much later. And at the time of the Mahabharat war, the Saraswati river was fully there. Now, going back about 2 decades back, the Indian Space Research Organization focused its satellite right over that area. And when you look from space, even a dried riverbed is visible. And of course, because it is so many years, it has over there already houses and things have been already built. That's right. Nilesh Oak is the name of the person. Balagopal has put it correctly. Nilesh Oak is the person who did further work on dating of the Mahabharata. Okay. So through this satellite, they were able to determine the dried bed of the Saraswati river, as was in some places as wide as 10 miles long. 10 miles wide river is a huge river. And what happened was, later there is a person, a geologist, who worked for the Geological Survey of India, and his name is
Kuldeep Wadia.
Yes, Kuldeep Singh Waldia. He was given Padma Bhushan for his work, where he was actually able to look at 2 earthquakes. He was able to date them when the tectonic shift resulted in the river being redirected from, and the place where it was redirected in Punjab, the place is called Shatrana. In a place called Shatrana, it was the land lifted up and it diverted the river, and most of the river water was captured by the Indus River, the Sindhu River, and it went into the Arabian Sea through the current day pathway that runs through Pakistan. So this, and he was able to date it. And so by the dating of that, we have reasonable conclusion all of this goes back about 5,200 years back. Now, with respect to how do we know that the Yoga Sutras is that old? We know the Yoga Sutras is that old because in the Indian system of philosophy, the last philosophy among the 6 old philosophies is Vedanta. And what is the definition of Vedanta? The definition of Vedanta is the philosophy explained by the work of Vyasa called the Brahma Sutras. And the Brahma Sutras was written after Vyasa had compiled the Vedas. And each sutra of the Brahma Sutra has a reference to the Upanishads. And that is how he wrote it. Now, since that was the last chronologically, prior to that is the Yoga Sutras. And even prior to that are 4 other older philosophies. The oldest philosophy is considered the Sankhya Sutras, which was written by a Muni called Kapila Muni. And then there is, of course, Nyaya Vaisheshika and the Purva Mimamsa or the Mimamsa philosophy that came earlier. All these are the 6. So because the Vedanta philosophy can be dated as Vyasa, as the Brahma Sutras written by Vyasa and the Vedas compiled by Vyasa. And since that is the last philosophy, we know the earlier philosophy of yoga must be a little older than that. It may be 10 years older, 50 years older, or 100 years older. It doesn't matter, but somewhat older. So that is where in the sequence the Yoga Sutras come in. The Yoga Sutra philosophically contains everything of Vedantic philosophy. Vedanta is also associated with the Vedas And the Vedas is associated with ritual religion, which is the fire-based worship that is there in the Vedas. And of course, allied with that, Vyasa also wrote the Puranas. And then the older forms of temple worships, the 33 agamas and tantras are also present. And therefore, what we have today is, if we look at the philosophy itself, the Yoga Sutra gives the same philosophy of the Vedanta, and it predates the Vyasa compiling the Vedas and the ritualistic this thing. And that is why yoga itself does not have any rituals associated with it. Okay. So that gives you the origin. And of course, the Muni who wrote all of that is Patanjali Muni. And Patanjali Muni is also credited by some people. And of course, it is known this Patanjali wrote the first grammar document of, called the Mahabhashya, of the grammar document of Sanskrit. And Patanjali Muni is also said by some people to have been the writer of the Ayurvedic initial manuals and all of that. So with that as the thought about the origin, we will end today. But if you can look into the Yoga Sutra, document which I shared with you on the web in our Life in Yoga page, tomorrow we will go into the first few sutras. We will not discuss one sutra at the time. No, tomorrow what we will do is, we will do an overview of the Yoga Sutras, all the chapters together. And after we have done the overview, day after, we will take 5-6 sutras at a time, and we'll spend 10 minutes each day to go over them. Okay. So with that, we will end this Yoga Sutra discussion today. So the remaining time we have, if there are any questions, we will address. Anybody wanting to introduce themselves? I don't see any questions over here. So Lorna Gonzalez and Peter Pinto from Maumee, Ohio, are you still here? Would you like to introduce yourself? Yes, please speak up and let you be heard to everyone over here. Yeah, you can unmute yourself by clicking on the, yes.
I'm Lorna Gonsalves.
And I'm Peter Pinto.
This is our first time, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. And so are you retired?
Yes, I'm retired professor.
Wonderful. Professor in what field?
In management. Supply chain management.
And I'm a sociologist, and I work with marginalized youth.
Wonderful. Maybe after we go through this, you might get ideas that you can share with us on how to bring it to the marginalized youth and how to bring the upliftment of society, which is what Life in Yoga is all about.
We definitely need a lot of that in the United States today.
Thank you so much for introducing yourselves. And now, anybody else? Any questions?
Sulekh Jainji, you can introduce yourself.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh.
Yes, we hear you. Sulekh Jain, please speak up.
हमारे बड़े भाई जो है ना देव महाजन जी ने आपके बारे में कई बार बात करी है.
Maybe you should speak in English, but सभी समझेंगे नहीं.
Okay, what I'm saying is my older brother Devendra Mahajan from Houston, he has talked to you about you for the last 1 year, and today he called me, he sent me the message, and he said, yeah, I must join in, and I enjoyed this program. So thank you very much. I'm calling you from Las Vegas in Nevada.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. And by the way, today in another couple of 2 hours, we are going to begin the West Coast session, 5:30 West Coast time. So
I
I'm
can-
doing double duty today.
So I can join either West Coast time or East Coast
East
time.
Coast, yes.
Exactly.
Let me share the link. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll share the link for the West Coast registration. So that's a separate event. That's a separate webinar. I'll share
Okay.
the link here, and if you anybody who wants to join the West Coast rather than the East Coast webinar,
Yeah, please.
you can register separately for that one.
Okay.
And you
good,
can
good.
share it
Yeah,
with your
question.
friends too.
Thank you.
Yes.
I will do that. Hmm?
Oh,
My husband has a question.
yes, go ahead.
I have a feeling as if I'm falling down, from right to left. So many times, even sitting in the chair, that I'm falling.
And when do you feel that? All the time or when you're doing any specific practice?
Today, I felt more while I was, twisting my waist from one direction to the other,
Okay.
or even while I'm sitting like that,
Hmm.
comfortably, I feel that as if I am gradually leaning.
Mhm. Now, you're sitting on a chair. Is that a wheelchair or a regular chair?
It's a wheelchair.
It has a wheelchair. It's
Okay.
not a wheelchair, it's an ordinary chair. But
Okay.
the office chair.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. Now, the thing is, do you have any balance related issues from before?
What is
His
it?
balance is very bad.
Okay.
He can't
So-
manage himself. He can't stand by himself.
Okay.
He's
So
all-
what I'm going to recommend for you is maybe we can schedule a individual call where if you send your email maybe later this week or next week, we can do a half-hour video call and we can have a conversation about how to deal with this. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you
No.
very much.
Okay. So you can mute yourself. And now there is a question which has been put on the screen, unless somebody else wants to say anything. The question was on what is the relationship between vegetarianism and yoga? Okay. What I'm going to say may surprise a lot of you. I'm a vegetarian, and I am not only a vegetarian, I don't eat onion or garlic either. Okay. But the thing is, from a yogic perspective, that you should eat what is suited for you. There is nothing from a yogic perspective that says you should be a vegetarian or not. A lot of people come from various people who say that yoga means you should be vegetarian and things like that. That is not validated from the core element. So in other words, each of you should be according to the way in which your system permits. That we are saying it from a physiological perspective. However, there is a philosophical perspective to this as well. The philosophical perspective is each one of us are born for a certain kind of drama that we are unfolding in this earth by living as we are, right? And so to fulfill the drama, whatever kind of nutrients you need, that nutrient, whichever way in which you can get, that is what will be most suitable for you. I have seen people, now of course, besides vegetarianism, the yoga will also say you should be non-alcoholic and you shouldn't use drugs and things like that. But on the other hand, when we go through the Yoga Sutras, it will tell you in the last chapter, first sutra, that you can use all of these psychedelic drugs to get that kind of experience too, right? And similarly, what you can also find is when it comes to alcohol, while alcohol is not considered suitable for yoga, At the same time, there are a lot of Devi worshippers who will actually keep a pot of water over there. And once they do their puja, that water converts into alcohol, just like, Jesus Christ made those pots of water into wine. It becomes like that, and they actually drink it. So the thing is, basically, from our standpoint, what we say is, for proper balance, vegetarianism is healthier, it is good, and all of that. But from the perspective of general world, for people who are attuned to certain kind of eating regimens, if they make a sudden change, it will actually affect their health. And so each person should be in sync with what their nutrients requirements are, what their purpose in life is. So this is what we call being true to your inner awareness or your soul. As you practice yoga regularly, what you will find is your inner awareness will guide you where you need to eat what kind of food. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a little. Well, let me finish one moment. I'm going to give you a little bit of a kicker in the pants. Normally, the prescription is you should have a diet where you should have as little sugar as possible. Everything white is bad, right? That is the diet that is being recommended. Now, the kicker for you is, my mother is 91 years old. She loves sweets. And in our home, if you ever come over here, there will always be a stock of rasgulla, gulab jamun, all the pedas, and all the sweets you will find in our fridge over here. Okay? And what happens is, my mother and I have it every day. Okay? So the thing is basically, so the concept is, you have to recognize what is suited for you. Okay? And a universal sense of good and bad is something that is not really true to yoga. What is good and bad for yourself, you need to recognize.
I wanted to comment two things.
Yes.
Recent research suggests plant-based nutrition is much, much better and healthier in a long run. That's one point. And second point is, you are a yogi. Your metabolism is quite different than most of us. So, and what time you eat and other things matters. Your mom and you are yogi, your metabolism is really different than most of us, with all your blessings.
So, Dr. Rajan, you can eat sweet as much as you wanted.
Actually, I have to tell you something. I never eat unless I am hungry. If you put all the sweets in front of me and I am not hungry, I will not eat it. Okay? But on the other hand, when I am hungry, I have no problem eating. And my inner sense guides me. I look at something and say, no, not this for today. So this is what is called being guided by your inner sense.
Well, this is a yogi can only do it. Most of us don't have control over it.
So I have a question. Why are you eating onion and garlic?
If I eat onion, and if you come and visit our home, you will not be able to go into our bathroom.
Oh, no.
Okay? So I react. The yogic prescription,
Not religious, right?
The yogic prescription for, the right kind of food for you is, there are a few indicators. Any food you eat, there should be no smell of the food coming from you after that. If there is smell coming from you, that food is not fully suited for you, or you're having excess of that. Second element is, once it is eaten, it should be fully digested so that the bowel movement should be normal. If there is abnormality in the bowel movement, that is an indicator. And what is the best kind of bowel movement? It's the kind of movement where the stool is well formed. And if the stool floats, it's an indicator of the best digestion. Then the third element is, your perspiration should not have a strong smell. If you have all of these in their place, then in which case you're doing good. Avni, you want to say something?
So the question is, vegetarianism and non-vegetarianism, don't the Rajasic and Sattvic and Tamasic come into yoga?
Okay, I'm going to tell you a very famous Rajasic person. Okay, find fault with him. Brahma is supposed to be Rajasic. Are you going to find fault with Brahma? Right? So the point is, for the right role, what you need is the kind of energy you need. Okay?
So also when, just a thought, when you eat, when you're a non-vegetarian, don't the some scars of that animal come into you? Just a thought.
See, what happens is, any food that is coming, forget non-vegetarian and the animal. If it is coming from a person, if that person who is coming and serving the food for you, or the person who made the food is a person who is an angry, upset person, okay? The vibration of that carries into that food too, right? And so what happens is, when you're eating outside and all of this, you mentally offer that food to the Lord, and you mentally affirm, whatever is my nutrition that I need, let this food provide for the sake of the Lord. That food becomes purified. Then after that, it is prasad, you can eat it. Okay, so with that, we will end today. So we will, in an hour and a half, we are beginning the West Coast session. So please let your friends in the West Coast know. And if you would like a second session, please feel free to join us. Namaste.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. I shared the link on the this thing. So I'll keep the this thing open for a little bit if somebody wants to copy the registration link for the West Coast. And what I'll also do is I'll put it in the daily announcements, daily reminders. At the bottom, I'll put this also, the registration link for West Coast. So those who want to join, or if you want to copy and paste and send it as an email to your friend.
Registration link goes to it too.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Almukund,
Yes.
West Coast link will be good for India also, because it will
Yeah,
be
it's perfect. Yeah, that's why Dr. Rajan said that, he'll do it live. So we were thinking that we'll play the recording of the post. And then the last minute, Dr. Rajan was like, no, it's not going to work out. Let's do it live.
No, what I am saying is that, people can send to their families or friends or something.
In India also. Yes. Yeah, people should send it. If people want to send it to their friends and family, please do so. In India.
We cannot copy this link.
Why is that? Oh, you should be able to copy.
It says copy URL. How do I do that? URL.
So just copy URL. That's it. That's what it means to copy. And when you copy,
Where does it make a copy? Where I can make a copy then?
so if you,
Which place?
I think you do select all. No, actually, hang on. You just click on it. Okay. Click on that and it will open in the browser. And when you have it in the browser, you can copy it from the browser. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll leave the program open so that you can, people who want, who can copy it. But I'll also put it in the daily reminder. So at the bottom, it will be in the daily reminder email.
No,
Yes,
it's
people
not.
from India can also join.
It's not coming when I click on it. Oh wow.
No, it's coming. Yes, it's coming.
Copy.
It's coming.
I put copy and where
You
do I
just click
copy?
on it. Click on the link, and it'll
Yes.
automatically go to a browser, and it'll open in the browser.
Oh my God, I'm very stupid on that.
Don't worry, Neetaji. You'll have this link in the email tomorrow.
Okay.
Let me
Alright.
paste it, and if you're having trouble, let me just do it to you as a person.
You can send me reminder. I'm not getting any more reminder.
You're not getting any reminders?
No, I'm getting it from the old, which you have sent it long time ago.
You stopped getting the reminders. Oh, maybe that's why people stopped coming. The people I put as panelists. The panelists don't get the reminders every day?